to be targeted simply because of the color of our skin. That's real. That's real, y'all. And that's a problem. And that's one that they don't want to talk about. They want to pretend it's not what it is. But it is what it is. So we're going to talk about that. Stay with us. Don't go nowhere. We're coming right back.
I look in the mirror and I like what I see. A strong, beautiful black woman staring back.
All right, we got to get the Facebook popping again.
A lot of pain and had her share of sorrow, but who never gave up hope for a brighter tomorrow. I've been lied to, cheated on, stolen from, and hit, but it just made me stronger, and I refuse to quit. That's right. And though I've been tempted, I refuse to stoop to their level. Don't go down. I rose above and made a liar of the devil. All right. Was it good enough, cute enough, or worthy of love? I kicked his butt with divine power from above. Power that says I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me and brought me out of darkness so that I could see that I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm a child of the King. Abundant love for me he came to bring. Oh yes, when I look in the mirror, I love what I see. She's looking good. That strong, beautiful black woman, that woman is me. You say you sold out because black women are loud and crass. What? And your precious white woman is the epitome of class? Are you so blind that you cannot see? That pale girl child ain't got nothing on me. For hundreds of years we have stood by your side, accepted your flaws and allowed you your pride, bore your children and cleaned up your mess, satisfied your lust and always settled for less. We have stayed in the background and allowed you to lead, trusting in your strength and ability to succeed, never getting the praise and credit we deserve, but having the courage, the will, and the nerve, for being the backbone that has kept it together for you and our children in all kinds of weather. And now suddenly you say we're not good enough for you. We forced you to sell out because of the things we do. Well, where was that white woman when that white man you hate was cracking the whip? In the boardroom, the warehouse, and on the slave ship. She stood by his side and didn't say a word, waiting for her own chance to rule and be heard. And now it's her you turn to and treat like a queen? And me and my sisters you choose to demean? Well, hold up, wait a minute, and stop the damn bus. Because there are a few things I need to remind you about us. Listen up. A more beautiful creature God never made than an African woman, no matter her shade. High yellow, red bone, or cocoa brown, we are more than worthy of wearing a crown. Ebony, mocha, or black as the night. It is we who have always shared in your plight. We are passionate, spiritual, loving, and kind. A more generous heart you'll never find than the one that beats inside the body of a Nubian queen, the hardest working, loving, giving woman you've ever seen. For we give and forgive until there's little left. Then we're forced to put up our guard to avoid your theft. The theft of our hearts and our trust, the very nature of our soul, by our so-called brothers who are just playing a role. And you wonder why some of us act as we do? Take a look in the mirror, because the answer is you. It's not enough that the white man has always tried to keep us down, but our own men act as though they'd love to see us drown. And white women have never invited us to join their equal rights struggle. So we're out here alone with a million things we juggle, raising the children that black men leave behind, and dealing with the racism of the daily corporate grind. Damn, it's no wonder some of us are loud. Hell, we're just trying to be heard. In a world where everyone, including our men, ignore our every word. Where are the brothers who understand a black woman's worth? Right here, who will protect and stand by us, for we are the salt of this earth. We birthed you, raised you, and showered you with love. It was we who taught you to love your creator above. We gave you all we had and taught you to be men. Open your eyes, it is us, your black sisters, not Bo Derek's kind who rates a perfect 10.
All right, let's get it, y'all.
And one final word for the sellout who claim to be brothers. When you turn your back on us, you disrespect your mothers. Did you hear that?
Did you hear that? 90.7 WTCC. Welcome back, Facebook. Welcome back, YouTube. Welcome back, everybody that we lost. Hope we got you back. Black Love Experience. Listen, let me make some announcements and let's get right into our conversation or continuation of our conversation that we started on the spoken word on Monday. This weekend, well, starting tonight, we're in our holy conversation. You know, I got in online on this. I thought they may have put the graphics in here for me. Maybe not. Let me see what we got in here. In here. Is that one? Yeah, there we go. Holy Convocation is on us right now. This evening, we'll be dedicating our Vermont location, 29 South Street, Brattleboro, and opening our convocation. Pastor Mark Bayman, my dear friend and brother, will be preaching tonight. He and his congregation will be with us. Looking forward to the fellowship with them on tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. For those of you here in the 413, it's only a 57-minute drive from here. So come check us out. And then tomorrow, we have our prayer clinic at 9 a.m. And that's going to be followed by some empowerment workshops. And then a worship service at 11. And our administrative assistant, Pastor Willie Moy from Bridgeport, Connecticut, will be preaching at the 11 a.m. service on tomorrow. Then we move into our empowerment conference next week, starting on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we've got Pastor Dehaj Wright, senior pastor of the St. John's Congregational Church here in Springfield, will be our keynote speaker. Looking forward to the fellowship with St. John's and Pastor Wright. Then on Wednesday, my friend and brother, the Bishop Andrew Dobbin from Celestial Praise Church of God and his fine congregation will be with us on Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. On Thursday, it's Women's Day. At 6 o'clock p.m. on Thursday, my wife, First Lady Cynthia Swan, will be doing an empowerment workshop from 6 to 7:30. And 7:30 will be our evening worship experience. And Mother Valerie Fields, our jurisdictional supervisor of the women's department, will be the speaker on that evening. Then on Friday will be the official night. I'll be preaching on Friday night. So come check your brother out. I think I got a little something to say to you on Friday night. Then you don't want to miss Saturday. You don't want to miss Saturday. Um, Hope Fest 2023, right on the grounds of the Spring of Hope Church. We'll have vendors, we'll have food, we'll have music, we'll have entertainment, we'll have information, we'll have games, we'll have face painting, we'll have Dunk the Bishop. Y'all will be able to buy some balls. I'll sit in the dunk tank and you get a chance to try to dunk a brother. Um, just a nice time of relaxation and unwinding. School is back in, kind of our last big session of starting out the school of the summer, starting out the school year. So Hope Fest 2023 pops off on Saturday. So you want to be a part of that. And in the middle of all of that, we also have a number of empowerment workshops that will be happening virtually. So on Wednesday at 12 noon, Bishop Lemuel Thuston from Kansas will be doing a virtual workshop on straight from the Vermont Jurisdiction's Facebook page. At 1 o'clock, the Bishop Matthew Brown from Atlanta, Georgia, will be doing an empowerment workshop. On Thursday at 12 noon, Dr. Mark Ellis from Louisiana, International Sunday School Superintendent of the Church of God in Christ, will be doing an empowerment workshop. And then in person at 6 o'clock on Thursday evening, my wife, First Lady Cynthia Swan, will be doing an empowerment workshop. So we got empowerment workshops, we've got prayer clinics, we've got worship services, we've got Hope Fest, we got all of that. And then you're welcome to swing by the Spring of Hope Church on Sunday, because after church on Sunday the 11th, we'll be having a gospel brunch at Wings and Waffles on Island Pond Road at 1:30. We'll be going over there, and he's going to be preparing lunch and breakfast menu for us, and nice, reasonably priced food, and we'll be fellowshipping together to close all this out at Wings and Waffles on Sunday the 11th. So a lot of stuff happening over the next week and a half. And then this Sunday, stop by Spring of Hope this Sunday. I'm preaching a message, how would Jesus vote? Primary election is coming up here on Tuesday. Primary election, our municipal elections are happening. I'm going to be preaching a message, how would Jesus vote? How would Jesus vote? And it's Souls to the Polls Sunday. So churches all over Springfield will be taking their members down to City Hall. Early voting has already started. All right, so you can get out there and vote. Early voting has started. We'll be taking our members down the City Hall to cast our ballots after service on Sunday. So this is Souls to the Polls Sunday. Lot of stuff, lot of stuff happening around here in these parts. 413-736-2781. Rep your city, rep your town. Let me see who we got back. Who did we get back? We get any of y'all back? Where y'all at? Did y'all leave me again? Where's all my Houston folks and everybody at? What? Did y'all think I was going off permanently? I'm back. I am. Tell somebody, text somebody, tell them Bishop is back. He's back. Come on, rep your city, rep your town. Come on with it. I see Chicago. I see Pensacola, New Jersey up in here. Where y'all at, YouTube? Where's all my H-Town folk that was chiming in early on? Come on back through. Come on back in. Where y'all at? Okay, there's Houston. Where y'all at on the gram? Where y'all at on YouTube? Come on now, come with it. Rep your city, rep your town. Rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. So, again, white supremacist, 21-year-old radicalized white boy Okay, thank you, Raleigh, North Carolina. All right, that's it. That's it. That's it. Infield. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all here. All right, y'all are here. I see you now. Radicalized white boy. Let me find the name of the HBCU. There was an HBCU in Jacksonville that was the original target um, of the shooting. That's where he wanted to go. He knew I would find young black people on this campus, and it would be big news. It would be big news. Um, I'll go in there and I'll murder a bunch of black people, and I'll go down in history. I'll go down in history. And this guy bought guns legally, even though he had some mental health issues and the whole nine. He was able to legally buy the guns. Oh, man. Then the president of the college says that a campus security officer that was tipped off by observant students is likely what stopped the killer who fatally shot those 3 people at the Dollar General from carrying out his mission on the campus. Edward Waters University was his original target. All right. He was going to Edward Waters University, and students reported seeing a young white man pull into a campus library parking lot, and that he began to put on tactical gear. And they immediately flagged down a security officer. And the officer approached the car on foot, and the driver sped off. Had those students not seen him get out the car and start putting on tactical gear and reported it to a security officer, there would have been carnage on that college campus. So the coward sped off and decided, hey, I'll go to this Dollar General in this black neighborhood. I'll find some black people here shopping and I'll kill them. And that's what he did. So let's think about that all in one day. Young people going to school, just starting, semester just opening, the first few days on campus. Imagine the shock their parents must go through. Listen, my son, Lazine, just graduated in May from the University of Massachusetts. He was there 5 years in an architecture program. Got his bachelor's degree in architecture. I was on their alert system while he was there. And at least 3 or 4 times over the course of time he was there, we got alerts about someone with a gun being on campus, telling the students to lock down where they are until the person is apprehended, so on and so forth. You don't know how my heart sunk every time I got a message like that. That my son was on campus and there was potentially a lunatic who could cause carnage and hurt people on the campus. At least 4 times during the time he was there, we got alerts saying that there was someone dangerous on campus, someone with a gun on campus. That's every parent's nightmare. Every parent's nightmare. Just to hear that someone is on campus with a gun, let alone an active shooter. So I can imagine how these parents feel, knowing, especially after they saw what happened at the Dollar General, knowing that that was intended for their child, potentially for their child, that could have happened to their child who's going to college to get an education. Something is sick about a nation where black people can't feel safe with their children in school, on a college campus, can't feel safe in a house of worship, can't feel safe in the grocery store, in the gym, in the mall, can't feel safe in regular public spaces in America because some lunatic thinks it's their mission to erase and eradicate black people. Thinks it's their divine calling to help exterminate black folks. This is the sickness that's America. And they want to deflect. They want to pretend that the real threats in our society are Islamic extremists, that it's somebody else, even though their own FBI tells them that it's radicalized young white boys. A black church in Pennsylvania was targeted this past weekend. It was foiled by someone who intended to go in, and because the church was too crowded, they weren't letting anyone else in. But a white man with a long rifle intended to go into a black church in Pennsylvania and murder black people in church. And here's my question. Because white folks are always talking about an attack on Christ, an attack on religion, religious freedoms, all that kind of stuff. How come the white Christian community is so quiet when things like this happen? Someone targets a black church and white Christians don't say nothing. But they'd be the first one to say, "You're my brother in Christ." Why ain't your brother in Christ when your cousins want to come in and shoot us? I went to a couple of the funerals of black people who got murdered in Buffalo last year. I ain't seen none of my white brothers and sisters in Christ at the funeral. I didn't see them come there to give their condolences and lend their support for several of the Christians that were murdered in that Tops supermarket. But these same Christians will be the first ones to pour millions of dollars into a GoFundMe to defend a white supremacist that murders a black person. Because remember, it was white Christians who raised millions of dollars for George Zimmerman. White Christians who raised millions of dollars for the white Marine who killed the black man on the subway. They're quick to pour money into the defense fund of cops like Derek Chauvin when they murder George Floyd. These same white Christians that are silent when black churches are being targeted. Sheer hypocrisy. Sheer and utter hypocrisy. Sarah Huckabee said something. It's about vaccine mandates. See if I can play it for you. See, this is the whitenized, ahistorical remix of what America is about. Now, she's basically saying, because there's this talk about potential vaccine mandates and wearing masks and stuff coming back because of an uptick in COVID. So she does this announcement about Arkansas won't do any of it. There will be no COVID mandates, no vaccine mandates. We won't make you wear a mask. We won't shut down anything because government should not be intrusive. This is all about COVID. But listen to the language on this part when she talks about what the nation was founded on. This is the white person remix of what America was founded on. Listen to this foolishness right here. Check it out.
Government should never loom larger than individual liberty in our lives. That's the principle our nation was founded on.
Let me play it again. Listen to it again.
Government should never loom larger than individual liberty in our lives. That's the principle our nation was founded on.
Government should never loom larger than individual liberty in our lives. That's the principle our nation was founded on. Wait, hold up. Individual liberty is the principle America was founded on? See, this is why she doesn't want Black history taught in schools in Arkansas, so she can say foolish stuff like that. Because last time I checked, it was the government that legalized selling Black people like horses and cows and chickens. It was the government that sanctioned the lynching, murder, brutalization, dehumanization, breeding, and subhuman treatment of Black people. And it's still the government through a racialized, degenerate criminal justice system that allows the same indignities to be exacted against Black people today. But government should never loom larger than personal freedoms. The personal freedoms that Black people have never had, that the government made sure they didn't have. Is this the same government she talking about? The government that said we was 3/5 of a human being? The government that was run by white men who owned our ancestors? Is that the government? That's the principle America was founded on? Really? See, white folks say this stuff and they act like we don't hear them, or they act like the history that clearly debunks what they're saying didn't happen. How the hell was America founded on individual freedoms? It was founded on bloodshed of indigenous people. It was founded on theft of land. It was founded on enslavement of black people, of rape and murder, forced labor. It was founded on the tenets of white supremacy. And in spite of well-documented evidence for all of that, they want everybody to pretend that we don't know what we know about the history of America and pretend that it's not true. That's why they want to ban it from the schools. That's why they want to get rid of it. The younger generation's truth about what they and their parents and their grandparents did. So they can get on their high horse and say crazy stuff like what Sarah Huckabee just said with a straight face and pretend that America was actually founded on individual liberties, while black people can't go shopping at Dollar General without being under the threat of murder. Denise, you're in the Twitter space.
Greetings, sir. So yes to all the things, and I appreciate you as always for having the courage to do what so many in your position don't do, even though they have the obligation to do for the Black American multi-generational community, and I think the nation, right? Because most of us ain't claiming to go anywhere, so this is home. I don't know if you had the opportunity to read the ethics complaint that was submitted to the Office of Congressional Ethics regarding HR 4321 and the 14 co-sponsors of that so-called no bailouts for reparations bill. I'm sharing that with you now in your DMs.
Okay.
I would love the opportunity to talk to you about that. I think we have to normalize getting these people, literally normalize calling this unethical, un-American, Confederate-esque, anti-Negro, but also against the nation, given the 14th Amendment Equal Protections Clause, given the 14th Amendment Disqualifications Clause, which all the states had to adopt, the Confederacy in particular, in order to be readmitted into the Union and giving voting rights, right? And if I recall correctly, was Arkansas one of the Confederate states? And maybe it don't even matter at this point because their little bigoted offspring have moved across the nation and polluted the political process from coast to coast at this point. We need to go ahead and talk about full implementation, enforcement, and accountability of the things that are on the books to get these people out the paint. And I invite you and all of the people connected to you to take a look at that complaint, submit your own. We can't just complain about it, and I know that's not what we're doing here, but what we got to really do is call for the enforcement of the stuff on the books, because there's so much that they've hidden from us and all Americans. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you sharing it with me, and I'll check it out. 413-736-2781. You can definitely put your request in the space if you want to chime in on the conversation. We've got to do things like that and a whole lot more. Because brothers and sisters, here the reality is they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. They are not going to stop. When I say whiteness is an unrelenting demonic force of evil, I mean it. It's unrelenting. They've got all the time in the world and the patience in the world. They'll continue for generations to get what they want. Okay? They'll continue for generations to get exactly what they want. It's an evil that is not going to just finally say, you know what, good wins out. We're going to give up. We're not going to do this stuff anymore. That's not how it's going to happen. They're going to keep going. And every time we go to sleep at the switch, we lose a little more. We went to sleep at the switch, and before you know it, they gutted the Voting Rights Act. We were out celebrating. This is the irony for me. We were out celebrating the movie Selma. We were taking our churches and everybody out to the theaters to go see Selma. And we were talking about the Voting Rights Act and those things that were depicted in the movie. And at that very moment, the Supreme Court had gutted the Voting Rights Act. The Voting Rights Act wasn't even enforceable. But we were celebrating the movie and the civil rights gain of the Voting Rights Act, even as it had been snatched out from under us. Then we turned around, and what happened? When I say they have patience and they're unrelenting, they've been going after affirmative action ever since it started. It took them 40 years. Finally got rid of it in higher education. Now they're going after it in the workplace. Finally got rid of it, turned around, and bam, it's gone, y'all. And so while we're doing electric slide and the wobble, they're working the legal system to snatch away everything that those civil rights pioneers, those leaders of slave revolts, and every dissenting black voice across the annals of history fought to make sure that we had. They're patiently, methodically working to remove it all. And that's real. Brother Walker, you're in the space. (413-736-2781) for those who want to call into the program. 413-736-2781. Brother Terrain Walker, you got the mic.
Good morning, Bishop. First of all, thank you for having this really necessary conversation.
Yes, sir.
I just have a question. Why is it so difficult for so many people who are supposed to be leaders in the quote-unquote black community for us to have a conversation about self-defense? It's almost like there's like an allergic reaction to talking about that we have the same right to practice the Second Amendment and to defend our communities that everybody else does. And how come we don't expand that conversation to talk about people who are in the legal system, people who are lawyers, people who are in government, who are on code, quote unquote, so we can have a real conversation about our right to defend ourselves the same way everybody else does. And I'll land.
All right. Appreciate you. You know, that's a conversation that needs to be had. If those of you who listen to me, you know that when I start my show every Monday and Friday, there's a clip that plays that talks about how the NRA, for the first time, supported restrictive gun legislation after the Black Panthers showed up at the Capitol in California bearing arms. Immediately after that, they passed something called the Mulford Act. And that's where it began to be restrictive in terms of who could carry a firearm. And they did that because black folks got strapped up. And I end that clip by telling people to get strapped for the purpose of defending themselves. When we preach a 2-part sermon series, you go check it out on our podcast. One is called Fear of a Folding Chair. The other is called Help Is on the Way. about what happened on the docks of Montgomery, Alabama, when black folks came together to defend each other. There's nothing wrong with self-defense. Self-defense is a righteous act. And see, I think to a large extent, religion has poisoned our minds, and they've given us this misinterpretation with the whole turn the other cheek and loving your neighbor stuff. They wanted you to think that that means you're supposed to just deal with the brutalization and the whitenized terror that is exacted against your community and against black bodies. That's not what that means. No. You are under no obligation to submit yourself to terror as a Christian or as any other religious adherent. You know, I always tell people, you know, I'm down with Malcolm and Martin. But the Malcolm part of me is when Malcolm says, you know what? Obey the law, respect people, treat people right. But if someone puts his hands on you, send them to the cemetery. You have a right to defend yourself. And you should. You should defend life, property, liberty, defend your family, defend yourself. All of that. What did they do when that crazy boy came across state lines at 17 years old, illegally carrying a firearm, Kyle Rittenhouse, and shot 2 people who were in the Black Lives Matter protest? White folks ran off amok, talking about it was self-defense. He had every right to kill him. Self-defense. They're big on self-defense when it's their white supremacists killing folks. But then they're big on you turning cheeks when they kill you or your people. You know, they want to invoke the Bible when it comes to you, but they want to invoke the Second Amendment when it comes to them. Catholicism, you got the mic. Going once. Going twice. All right, Catholicism ain't rocking too hard right now. There you go. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. I'm from Northern Ireland, and here we had our own civil rights movement alongside the black community in the US. So we had not the right to vote. We didn't have our own houses. We weren't given jobs. We weren't allowed jobs, and the police force was 99% Protestant. So it was a very one-sided police force, and we were under the rule of the British government here, and we fought for independence. On Bloody Sunday, there's people killed. There were 14 civilians killed on Bloody Sunday in a peaceful march for civil rights, as a civil rights movement we had. But since then, things have changed, you know, and even though we're still not a free and united Ireland, people still have, Catholics now have the right to vote, we have the right to get jobs. But I don't believe in quotas, and I don't believe in people having to hire somebody just because
Wait, hold up, slow down.
Yeah.
You don't believe in quotas. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, I believe in the best man for the job. That's what I mean. Forget the color.
So let me ask this question. So when black people were being excluded from jobs,
okay,
Was that the best man for the job, or was that just the white man for the job?
I'm saying the best person for the job color should not come into
No. I get that. No. What I'm saying is, are you ignoring the history? Are you ignoring a history both where you are and in America, where black people were excluded from jobs because of their blackness? That for centuries, the order of the day was the white person for the job. The hell with the best for the job. And that affirmative action. Wait a minute. Hold up. We can sing at the same time. We can't talk at the same time. Okay? So for centuries, black people were excluded from jobs, both in England and in America. Affirmative action comes along and says, let's right the wrongs of the past. And y'all call them quotas. You didn't have no problem with so-called quotas when the quota was hire all the white folks you want. You didn't have no problem with quotas then. All of a sudden now, when something comes along and says, hey, we have to give black people an equal and fair opportunity at getting a job, at getting on a college campus, at all of the opportunities that we have just given to white folks just because they were white, then all of a sudden you had a problem with it. But as long as it was white folks getting stuff and excluding other folk, y'all wasn't calling them quotas then. It was just what it was, right? Come on, man, stop. What you're not gonna do is sit up here and act like history didn't happen and that there wasn't a reason that there had to be affirmative action. Affirmative action was based on righting a wrong. And I think you know that. And it's completely disingenuous for you to then talk about, I don't believe in quotas, the best man for the job. After white folk been getting all the jobs for 400 years, how dare you come up here and say we ought to give black people jobs? It should be the best man. Basically, you saying it should be the white man for the job. Anyway, I got to get out the way. Y'all a trip, man. Y'all don't ever call here trying to gaslight me. Don Felton is in the studio. He's coming up next with mid-morning jazz and great black music. Check me out on Monday on the spoken word. I'll be back with you, continuing our conversation. Remember everything that I said that was happening this week. Get your tickets to the NAACP Freedom Fund banquet that's coming up. Let me flash it on the screen right there. October 19th at the Ludlow Country Club. You want to be a part of that and all of the stuff. Go to our Facebook page for our church for the NAACP. See everything that's happening. I got to get out the way. Convocation starts tonight. Until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, God loves you. So do I. Peace and blessings.